everything gonna be alright.
COVID has certainly done some good things for this country. And one of the good things that COVID has done is to allow us to have a political conference with a difference. Yesterday, the JLP's conference wasn't one where you had trucks and buses from all over the country, with persons perched on top of buses and bodies hanging out. It was a conference with style, a conference with class, a conference where discussions were had about issues facing this country. I must tell you, I hope from now going forward, this is what we will have from all political parties in Jamaica. I must tell you, it was interesting to hear the Prime Minister trying to sing. Yes, he was off key, but I must say that quite a number of the things that he said in that speech was certainly not off key. So, Mr. Prime Minister, don't try to sing because you will be off key, but I beg of you, sir, whatever you do, make sure that you are definitely on key.
I don't know of any other free and democratic society that has the murder rate that we have. It is unusual. It is an emergency. I'm sorry that the opposition does not see it that way. And that is why you are seeing gangs being brought before the courts. So you hear them say, you need more intelligence and you need to do more investigation. Duh. When have you ever seen so many gangs being brought before our courts to face justice? You think we just pull them out? Some time ago, I explained to the nation that I can't say too much. People talking about the crime plan and which crime plan. I said that's the easy retort. Whenever, I've seen people ask, so what would you do? And they bounce around and skirt around the issues because they really don't know. They don't have a clue. But the usual retort is, where's the crime plan? There's no crime plan. Rubbish. No other government in Jamaica has spent the budget on national security that this government has done. None.
The Prime Minister spoke about the Constitution of Jamaica. There is a need to have it changed. How do we do it? I am saying we cannot do it the old way. We should not be making laws where we go to the House and it becomes a thing, PMP versus JLP. That Sankey needs to be changed. We need to go to the people. You saw what happened to NIDS? NIDS is a fantastic idea. NIDS is something I've been pushing for 30 years now. Those of you know that since I've gone back into broadcasting, I've been on it for a number of years now. NIDS is one way to identify every single person in this country. It means, therefore, we could use facial recognition if we had pictures of everybody in the NIDS system. But no, it went to the House, it became a football thing, PMP versus JLP. At the end of it, we get a little thing which cannot work. NIDS must be compulsory. It has to be the same way you are registered at birth. NIDS must be a part of that system. You need to have certain information about every citizen in this country. If we had NIDS, for example, a lot of things that are very difficult to solve will be solved quite easily. And as a matter of fact, you'll be able to ensure order in this country. Can you imagine somebody just drop a bit of paper on our street and all the police officer will have to do is walk across and ask for the ID or ask for an ID number? That police officer could input that number into his phone and that person's face would come up immediately. That person would be issued a ticket. Don't talk about you not going to pay for the ticket because it's not even going to go to court. If you don't pay for it, interest will accrue. And if you don't pay for it after a while, you can't get your license renewed. You can't get certain benefits from government, and basically you'd be locked out of the system. What we need to do in this country is to remove quite a number of things that we now have in the judicial system. Replace it with a ticketing system. The only time one should go to court is if you are disputing a ticket that has been issued by a police officer. Jamaica cannot continue like this. We have to treat the crime even far better than the way we treat COVID-19, or else, mark my word, dog nyam we supper.
Were it up to me, I am not a believer in the death penalty. But for this, I would make an exception. Anyone found with a gun should start with the death penalty. Forgive the hyperbolic expression. But what I'm saying is there needs to be stiffer penalties for those people. This high security will be that telecommunications will not escape. So it's a high security in the sense that it will be high tech in its ability to prevent external communications.
I told Andrew last week that he's being forced on the back foot too often. Too often when he should be hitting boundaries and putting runs on the board. He's being forced to play defensive stroke to protect the wicket. Use a football analogy. He has to be spending too much time springing to the left and diving to the right to prevent a defender's goal. I told him last week that he has accumulated political capital that I wished I had had. I said to him, as my leader, as my successor, and as my friend, you have that political capital. Don't be afraid to use it. When it is necessary to use it, because if you don't use it, you're going to lose it.
This country, number one problem is corruption and crime. It has to be dealt with. And if the Prime Minister listened to former Prime Minister Golding's speech, he would get what needs to be done. Action needs to be taken to deal with corruption once and for all. He has the political capital, but if he doesn't use it, he shall surely lose it. We have to stop the corruption from top, and then when we have leaders who believe in honesty and believe in doing things that are right, I guarantee you the whole nation will have to follow. But what is amazing, we're trying to deal with the crime, and the government wanted to extend the state of emergency. What I found very interesting coming out of that, which I've written a blog about, is that, as I've said before, that the members of the Senate are not elected. They are selected. Can you imagine? The elected representatives of this nation made a decision. They voted on a matter to extend the state of emergency. Yet when it went to the upper house in the Senate, which is selected by the Prime Minister and the leader of the opposition, a few of them decided not to go with it. And the state of emergency cannot be extended. So there you have it, the selected overruling the elected. What a life, what a country. The Constitution must be changed.